Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has reignited the debate over NBA officiating, calling for stricter enforcement of traveling violations. Following a contentious game where multiple uncalled travels benefited the opposing team, Kerr expressed his frustration, emphasizing that the league's failure to consistently enforce the rule is harming the integrity of the game. His comments have sparked discussions among players, analysts, and fans, with some agreeing that lax officiating has allowed offensive players too much freedom, while others argue that the NBA's emphasis on entertainment and scoring justifies a looser interpretation of the rule. Kerr's remarks add to a long-standing debate about whether the league should prioritize fundamental basketball rules or adapt to modern play styles. As the controversy grows, the NBA may face pressure to clarify and enforce traveling calls more rigorously. Kerr's criticism came after the Warriors' narrow loss, where opponents seemingly got away with blatant traveling violations during crucial possessions. For the good of the game, they have to start calling it. Kerr stated in the post-game press conference, his frustration evident. He pointed out specific instances where players shuffled their feet before dribbling or took extra steps en route to the basket, yet officials turned a blind eye. This, he argued, creates an unfair advantage, especially for teams that rely on precise footwork and fundamental play. The coach, known for his advocacy of fair play, stressed that the lack of consistency in officiating is not just frustrating for teams, but also confusing for fans trying to understand the game's rules. The traveling rule has long been a point of contention in the NBA, with many believing that superstars are often given more leeway than lesser-known players. Highlight reels frequently showcase jaw-dropping moves that, upon closer inspection, include extra steps that go uncalled. While some argue that this enhances the spectacle of the NBA, critics like Kerr insist that it erodes the essence of basketball. In recent years, the league has introduced the gather step rule, allowing players an extra step when collecting the ball, further blurring the line between legal and illegal movement. Kerr's comments have reignited discussions on whether the NBA should tighten its officiating standards or continue allowing flexibility for offensive creativity. Some players and coaches have backed Kerr's stance, believing that the NBA's leniency with traveling calls disproportionately benefits offensive players and undermines defensive efforts. Former players, particularly those from past generations, have also chimed in, noting how stricter enforcement in their era kept the game more fundamentally sound. However, not everyone agrees. Many current players argue that the game has evolved, and cracking down on traveling could slow down play and reduce the excitement that fans love. The league's balancing act between maintaining traditional basketball rules and adapting to the modern game remains a challenge. As Kerr's remarks gain traction, it remains to be seen whether the NBA will take action. The league has periodically emphasized rule enforcement, such as its focus on reducing flopping in past seasons. But significant changes to traveling calls could dramatically alter the way the game is played. If officials begin calling travels more strictly, teams may have to adjust their offensive strategies, potentially leading to a shift in the league's overall style of play. Regardless of the outcome, Kerr's comments have once again forced the NBA to confront an issue that has persisted for years, one that could ultimately redefine the balance between skill, entertainment, and fundamental basketball principles.